Yo,
You're
you're
good, Drew.
nothing, just up and just dealing with the same and new shit. It is weird.
I hear that. I definitely hear that. I've been snowed in the past 2 days. Like, it was so crazy. It's been bad up here. I don't have a shovel, so because I'm not used to like the snow because of the city. So I've been having to use dustpan to shovel the snow out of my walkway and driveways.
God damn, fuck that.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, man. I look stupid, but it'll be alright. I'm getting a shovel, dude. Fucking shovel shit. But yeah, man. I feel that. It's been crazy the past couple weeks. My birthday passed and like it didn't even feel like my birthday was here. It came before. It like came and gone before I even was like, alright, let me celebrate a little. But yeah, I've been using Friday and Thursday and like today to like continue to celebrate and shit. But
Yeah, why not?
no, legit. And then I had all my birthday on Thursday, and yesterday I had to I just used the rest of my sick time, and it basically was worth the whole day. And then today I'm off, and so that I gave myself a nice little fucking nice little like mini vacation.
Yeah,
man.
Go ahead.
No. I was just wondering. I know. Last time I talked to you, I know I've seen you saw a couple of movies and whatnot.
I did.
So yeah, man. How was Ant-Man?
It's what the kids call mid.
Oh yeah. What? No. We're older than the kids. I feel like we have, especially. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Especially when it comes to you, I love this movie taste. Like, I may like certain movies a little bit more than you do, but like, I honestly just feel like that's just me being biased. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I can be the same sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm definitely biased in terms of shit, but I definitely appreciate your movie taste, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could talk to you all day about movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, but nah, tell me your honest opinion about it. Like, fuck what the kids say. Tell me what you feel about it, honestly.
Well, I mean, it was just kind of like, you know, the kids say mid. The adults usually just say it's like, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. It wasn't it wasn't even whack. It was just like, it was there.
All right.
Like, it was
okay.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
It got the worst rating on Rotten Tomatoes of any like MCU Marvel movie. And again, Rotten Tomatoes, people should stop caring about what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. Like, have your own opinion.
Well,
I mean, because there's movies that Rotten Tomatoes gives bad reviews, and I'm like, these are great fucking movies. Like, what are you talking about? And then there's movies that they give great reviews to, and I'm like, this movie sucks.
yeah, or it's just mad boring. It's mad boring, or there's mad drama in it, and that's what like people think. Oh my god, it's so good. Like, man, this shit is boring as fuck. You made me sit through a 2-hour and 15 movie, and there was 2 fight scenes. I fucking hate you.
But it definitely wasn't the worst of all the MCU movies. Like, you know, because I have my list on Letterboxd. You know, Letterboxd is a website where you can, you know, review movies and rank movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
and
I've checked out a couple.
But this is a movie 31 for MCU, and I forgot what I ranked it over. I think it's like in the low 20s. It's definitely not the worst, but it's just like, usually with any of the Marvel movies, I'll usually try to go out of my way to go see it again.
Yeah.
Whereas with this one, it's just like, I don't think I need to see it again.
Okay. Damn. All right. Well, I mean, that's just
like,
you being honest.
Like my boy Jonathan Majors, I thought he was great, but like, I didn't. He did a good job with the material, but like some of the material, I was just like, I don't know about it. Like, the best way I can put it, the trailer showed us a better movie than the actual movie that we got.
Damn, that sucks.
Because like the trailer made it seem like we were getting, I guess, a different story that I was more interested in, and then when you saw the movie, you're like, what? Like,
okay,
you know,
yeah, I get you.
Like, Marvel lately has been doing this thing I'm kind of getting annoyed by, where it's like, Whereas like in the first Iron Man, Tony Stark, you know, he built something in a cave with a box of scraps, and it felt earned. Whereas in like lately in a lot of these movies, like you have like a Riri Williams, who's like this, you know, really smart teenager that's going to MIT, who's able to build an Iron Man suit in like months, in like a month, in her own like garage, and it's just like I'm kind of getting tired of the whole like, you know, oh, these kids are smart and they're able to build their own Iron Man tech and their own Captain America shield and their own Thor's hammer and their own blah blah blah. It's like, can this shit like feel earned? I get it, like, you know, the world evolves in that world, but it's like a lot of this shit needs to feel earned. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah. Like it just feels like they just like there's a good story behind it, not, but like we're not seeing no real. Oh, how does she get here? We're just being told it was this, and this. She did that. I see what you're saying. There's no like, there's no like struggle before the deserving.
right, and it's just like this isn't me doing the whole you know, women and she like
Nah, it's
like,
not.
like that's not at all. Like I have no problem with female superheroes. Like I love Miss Marvel. I thought Miss Marvel, of all the MCU like TV shows on Disney Plus, I thought that was one of the better ones, and you know that WandaVision. And you know I enjoyed She-Hulk. I don't give a fuck. Me and RJ both enjoyed She-Hulk. I get where people have the whole concept of like you know, forced diversity. I get it, because like diversity should be something that's normal and organic, and not just like, hey, we're making this movie about a thing, you should watch it because it's about a thing. It's about people, and it's about, you know what I mean?
No. It's wow. You brought up something that I've had on my mind, and I've discussed. Oh my god, I've talked about like the forced diversity thing for mad long, bro. And it's crazy because you know what's funny? I'm a person of color. Like I like to call myself a double minority person, because like I'm two things, and like both of those things consist of like the minority in like the retrospect of like how people perceive like whatever. So like I always say that to myself. Like I always took it upon myself to if you say things to yourself when someone who says it to you that actually really means it, it's not gonna affect you. So you know what I'm saying? So but listen, I will date this back all the way to DC Titans, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was so hyped for the first season, just the simple fact that I knew the actor that was playing Dick Grayson, right? I watched the movie The Giver, and I read the book The Giver, so I automatically liked that he was playing Nightwing, just for the simple fact that I knew him from a movie that I enjoyed before. See my bias here?
Right. I guess.
But I was hyped. I was like, damn, we're probably gonna get a Nightwing, this, and this. Go to Starfire. Starfire is black. She got curly orange hair looking like Daphne. And there's just no sign of alien whatsoever. Just green and glowy eyes that any regular human being can have green eyes. I bitched about this for so long, bro, because it made no sense to me. Like, why'd you have to make her black? Is it because you needed like a black character in the fucking because there's no Cyborg, and Cyborg is technically your black character, and you're not going off of, I guess, Teen Titans or whatever. You're going off of what the Teen Titans Go or whatever the fuck, Young Justice. I don't know what they were going based off of with like the crew for Titans, but it just didn't make sense. Like, you couldn't just paint her orange. Like, I'm pretty sure if we made Guardians of the Galaxy and Drax was just Batista and just he had the red things over his face and his eyes were white, but his skin was just regular Batista, or Zoe Saldana was not green like Gamora and she was regular like tan skin, people would bitch. It's like, why do you do that? And it's like, are you trying to like force something? I just hate that. It's like it's exactly what. It's exactly like kind of exactly what you were talking about. That shit pisses me off. I don't know why it does. Like, for instance, you know how they're making the Blue Beetle movie?
Yeah.
They have a Mexican actor playing Blue Beetle.
Well,
Blue Beetle is actually Mexican. Like,
well,
okay.
Well, in the comics, Blue Beetle is Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And they have a Mexican actor playing him. Like that's appropriate. Like the more listen, Drew. This is my thing. Okay, I'll just sum it up with this: the more you change people, right,
Hmm.
the less of the actual person of color who's a superhero is being left on the shelf.
Well, another kind of quote I just thought of in my head while you were talking was there's a podcast on you can see it on YouTube. It's called Double Toasted, and like it's hosted by two black guys.
Okay.
And the concept, or the not the concept, but like the topic of what we're talking about right now came up, about diversity and forced diversity. And they were talking about that Resident Evil show that came out last year, that really bad one. And they made I forget what his name is. Was it Whisker or not Whisker, Wesker or something like that. Where
Wesker from Resident Evil.
yeah, and like the video games, he's an old black guy, and on the show they made him black, and they and played by I forget the actor's name, but he's in John Wick. He's the guy that works at the hotel, like the front desk.
Word.
Mr. Wick, how long will you be staying? Like that guy.
Word. Yeah, him. Yeah, I know.
I didn't watch the show. I just saw the clips, and it looked like dog shit. But on the show, the lead host, whose name is Corey, who's a Texas boy, he said straight up, and like he just made it simple. Like sometimes you just need to have me. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Like he just said, sometimes you just need to keep your white characters white. Like you don't always need to change.
You don't.
You don't always need to change the race or the gender. Like
No.
there are some characters I think you can get away with switching, race and gender. Sometimes, like it depends on the character. Like if it's a less known character.
I'll give you an example for that. I'm sorry for cutting you. I'll give you an example for that. Daniel Craig's done with James Bond, right?
Yeah.
They want to make it a black person, right?
Yeah.
But here's my pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make it Idris Elba. Idris Elba is British. If you're gonna change the color of the person, at least the race of the person, at least keep something to this originality. If Idris Elba is legitimately British,
I get it. I'm fine with it.
James Bond's British. What is it? MI6? Oh, MI8?
I've actually never got into James Bond, but
okay. Well, I think it's MI6 or MI8. One of the agencies for like Britain intelligence or whatever.
I think
It's in
MI6,
Britain.
yeah.
Everything's in Britain. And if you're gonna change it to a black guy, at least keep it British. And it makes sense. Like there's certain exceptions to me. Like you can do it. Like I'm okay with that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to make Michael B. Jordan the Black Superman. In an alternate universe, there's a black Superman. So I'm not mad. I can't be mad. It's legit. It's a legitimate thing. Like I'm fine with that. As long as to me, it's like you want to do your own spin, but like if you just disrespect like the comics and like the people who wrote those comics for those superheroes, and you just completely do like the opposite of what like it's physically has been said in the comics for years, I just don't like it. I can't watch some shit like that. You know what I mean? I can't.
So, two things. So, like, if you want to make it a completely new character, like if you want a gay superhero, if you want a new black superhero, if you want a Puerto Rican superhero, if you want like a Middle Eastern superhero, just make a new hero.
Right. Just make it.
Or here's an example: Miles Morales. Like that Miles Morales was actually created out of controversy because there's a writer and a podcaster named Mark Bernardin who told a story about when they were rebooting Spider-Man the first time and eventually ended up going to Andrew Garfield, that he kind of called out the casting of like, oh, it's just, more, bland British dudes. And why not just make Spider-Man black? Just make Peter Parker black, because when you look at it and you just point out, the facts about Spider-Man, he's poor. He's, A, B, C, and D. So just make him black. This is a black guy saying this. And he got so much heat. Like, he legit got, like, death threats. Like, people mailing him and saying, show up to Comic-Con, I dare you.
Wow.
And then that's when Brian Michael Bendis created Miles Morales. And for that, it worked because, that's, what do you call it? That's Peter Parker's, like, that's his protege. Like,
right.
He's mentoring Miles Morales, and, that became popular. Miles Morales became a hit, and also Into the Spider-Verse became a hit, and it even won an Oscar for Best Animated, film.
Right.
And then the game came out, and Miles Morales became a hit. So people want to see Miles Morales. There's people that can't wait to see Miles Morales in the movies, like in the
Yeah,
live action movies.
yeah, I like it. It's me. Like that whole character, the whole it's me. I love it. Like it's 100% like
And then
like it's funny because I can legitimately say I 100% can relate to Miles Morales.
right, and it's just going back to what I said earlier. It's like a lot of this shit doesn't feel earned. With Miles Morales, that felt earned because
Right. His mom was
with
like, no, you're right. His mom was like an
with
everyday mom. His dad was a everyday cop. He
right.
earned his ass to get into that like private school that his parents was like chipping by to pay for. And you're right.
With Spider-Man, it's just like, Peter Parker can't do this forever, so he needs to find somebody that. I mean, I don't think he was actively looking for somebody, but he ended up running to somebody that was just like him, and fit the traits of Spider-Man. He was the everyday man that people in his community looked at, and Peter Parker fit that bill, and Miles fit that bill. People like Riri Williams, where it's like, I'm a genius and I can build an Iron Man suit. It's like,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, word. I feel you. I did like that movie though. I finally saw it. I did like it.
Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I did like it a lot. I fucked with it. I like that Shuri overcame. It was I liked it. That part now that you mention it, like I kind of didn't like realize like she did feel like a random ass character. I ain't gonna stunt, but
Her dialogue was a little cringy at moments.
it's fine. But I wasn't expecting Michael B. Jordan. That was cool. That was a good movie. That was a good
What'd you
movie.
think?
I enjoyed it.
What'd
To me, huh?
What'd you think about Namor?
Oh, he was cool as fuck. I fucked with him. That shit was cool, and I did fuck with the fact that how they ended it too. Like, yo, if I kill you now, like, what's the point? Where like, if I save you, I always got your back because you can't beat me, and like, we'll keep you under wraps and everything, and the outside world don't need to know about y'all. And if y'all ever need help, like, Wakanda got your back, and like, and he finally like conceded, and he was like, all right, bet, and like, I fucked with it. It was cool. It was one of those superhero movies where you didn't expect that type of ending to happen. I was not. Expecting that type of ending where like they made peace. You rarely see that shit in movies.
Right.
Especially superhero too. Like I wasn't expecting it, so I thought it was alright for a movie that they had to like kind of rewrite entirely, right? Because he died. I mean,
right.
I didn't think it was wrong. It was a good ass sequel. If they end it like this and it's over, shit, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I saw it 3 times, and like every time, couldn't help but get emotional. Especially in the beginning, like because I went to go take my sister and her husband and go see it because she hadn't seen it, and that was the 3rd time I saw it.
Yeah,
and we ended up having the theater all to ourselves. Also, because it was like raining really hard that day, so
right.
But in the beginning, like I told her straight up, like you might get emotional in the beginning. Like I was like, I don't know if I'll get emotional. And then the beginning happened, and then you just see like the intro, and it doesn't even play like the
all just him.
You just see Chadwick, and I'm just like,
yeah, that shit's crazy.
I just go, God damn it! And I hear my sister go, "You're right." And also the end, just when she's remembering. It's
and then they got the sun. That's right. Now that you mentioned, I totally forgot about like they got the sun. Yeah, like that's why I moved away. I didn't want him to over. Like it was good, bro. It was definitely to me. I don't really go fuck about Marvel. I could care less, but it was to me probably the best Marvel movie for me of like 2022, 2023. But it's barely the best Marvel movie because to me, the Doctor Strange, the second one, that shit is close, man. Whew. I fuck with that shit.
That's a movie, like, alright. For all of its flaws, that's a movie I can rewatch and enjoy in some parts, but, like, just... I didn't like the plot. I don't like the whole thing about Scarlet Witch being like, I want my kids, and it's like, well...
I didn't like that neither. I didn't like that she was bad. I didn't like that she took up that much...
Well, no. I didn't have a problem with that she was bad, because first of all, I love Elizabeth Olsen. Like, that's white. That's, one of many wifeys. I thought she was fucking good. I like the horror aspect of, you know, how they were making her character. That didn't have a
Yeah.
problem with it. Just the plot. Like, to me, like, when I'm watching a movie and I can already solve the plot, like, that's a problem. Like, with her, it's like, you know, I want my kids, and it's like, well, we have so many options. Like, we have America Chavez that could jump to different universes. She can take you to a universe where your kids exist, or you can just make some kids. Like, why can't you just do any of those? It's like, oh, okay,
Right.
problem solved.
Right.
There's a movie. You know, the whole thing where she just destroys the Illuminati. I just thought that was fucking like metal. Like, that was metal right there. With fucking Black Bolt, where she's like, what mouth?
Oh yeah, he killed all of them.
You know, Reed Richards, who's apparently the smartest man in the world, he's a fucking dumbass.
And he got fucking rubbered up.
You know, where he's like, you know, Wanda, I have kids too. Black Bolt can destroy you with, you know, one sound of his mouth. It's like, how about you just tell everybody their fucking powers, dude?
Like, fucking, like, great. Yeah, I get you. I mean, I liked it. I definitely I like Doctor Strange. He's probably, like, my favorite Marvel character. Like, from this, like, MCU shit. Like, I definitely say that. To me. No
Way Home is my favorite.
Huh?
No Way Home is my all-time favorite.
Who's
I
your
can't
favorite?
say. No Way Home, of all the MCU movies, it's my number one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In terms of all of them? Damn. Honestly, in terms of all of them, my favorite's probably Civil War.
That's up there. That's
Yeah,
a top one for me.
I wish, and I don't really like those movies. Like, I like that one. Is Civil War the one with the guy that's like, oh, I lost my family in the war, I'm gonna destroy you guys?
Oh, you mean Zemo? Yeah, that's it.
Alright, yeah, that's my favorite one. Yeah, that's my favorite one, and I think Winter Soldier's my second favorite. Like,
that's my second.
Yeah,
For the longest time, that was my number one, but then No Way Home. You know,
that shit was popping. Yeah, No Way Home is probably my top 5. But it's in my top 5 and a lower because it just came out. Like, fucking Civil War was popping, Winter Soldier was popping. I didn't really give a fuck about the first Captain America. The first 2 Iron Mans, the first Iron Man I care about. Iron Man 2, I didn't give a fuck about. Iron Man 3 was alright. I didn't give a fuck about none of the Thors. I'll be honest. Fuck Thor. Fuck all them shits. Them shits was whack.
Hey, come on.
Alright, you wanna know my favorite Thor? People I think it sucked. Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok was popping.
Who thought Thor Ragnarok sucked?
Oh, I thought like overall people thought it sucked. I love that movie. I loved it because it was really a Thor movie.
People hated Thor 2 and Thor 4. They loved Ragnarok.
I love Ragnarok, and I didn't really see Love and Thunder. I gotta watch that. Is bum?
Just letting you know, it's like you say, bum.
Is bum? Oh no, I'm not watching that shit then. Thank you. But so then, alright. So Ragnarok still stands. I love Ragnarok. I liked it because it didn't.
I like the first one.
It didn't feel like a Thor movie. It felt like a Thor and Hulk movie. So.
Right, and I don't give a fuck. I like the first one. The first one's one.
Okay, yeah, the first one was alright. I didn't care about the second one. And then what other people had movies? No, Hulk can't have no solo series. Good, because...
No, he did. Incredible Hulk.
Oh, yeah, with Edward Norton. I wish that motherfucker came back. Bitch ass. Fucking...
Well, he didn't want to.
And it's not his fault. I read up the whole thing, and I feel bad. He wanted control and say with, like, the script for Bruce Banner and Hulk. And rightfully so. I mean, I understand. Like, that first Incredible Hulk I love that movie. That shit, I would watch. That shit's on HBO Max, and I'll watch that shit to this day. I love that shit. That shit was good. I thought he was perfect. Bruce Banner, smart dude. I loved it. And then, he never got he was supposed to get a sequel, and then he, like you said, there was, like, a bunch of differences, and he never signed back on for the second one, so they just scrapped.
Well, also because Universal owns the rights to a Hulk movie.
Oh, so there you go. There's that. But I like that Norton. I wish he came back to try to do a sequel and eventual third one. I wish, man, because I read it up. He eventually signed for a trilogy, so it's annoying, kind of annoying. But yeah, I really don't give a fuck about Black Widow. Black Widow's just a fucking female G.I. Joe in the Avengers. I can't stand it.
Hey, come on. Hey, that's my girl. Come on.
You really? She's a terrible actress too. Like,
no, she's not. She's a good actress. Come on.
Oh my! No, she's not. Scarlett Johansson. No, she's not. People just like her. people just like her because she's pretty. That's it.
She can act, dude. She can act. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on.
I don't know, bro. Really?
I think she's a good actress. I'm not just saying that because she's pretty.
I'll take Natalie Portman over fucking Scarlett Johansson.
And I like Natalie Portman too.
Yeah, she's really good. She's good. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, I give you that. She's good. I don't know. I don't like Scarlett Johansson. I don't know. I really don't. I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, that's about it for fucking. One more movie before I guess we talk about a little bit about wrestling. What'd you think? I know you saw Creed 3. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so my local theater, they had a special preview for Creed 3 on Monday, the Monday before the movie came out this week, and we went to go see it in IMAX, which was interesting because, like, I guess the movie said it was going to start at 9, but then at 9 they did this live like IMAX red carpet premiere that you can watch on the big screen, and like it was cool at first, and then we're just like,
all right, I want to watch the movie.
Like, can we watch the movie already? Like, granted, there weren't previews. I guess this was like in like lieu of the previews. But when the movie actually started, I liked the movie. I really enjoyed it. I liked it better than Creed 2. I mean, I didn't hate Creed 2, but I felt Creed 2 was too much of a Rocky 4 sequel, and Rocky 4 is actually my favorite. Rocky 4 is actually my favorite Rocky movie.
Same.
And the Creed 1 I thought was great because it was a movie that I had no interest in, because it's just like, wait, they're doing a movie about Apollo Creed's son, and then they're having the guy who played Human Torch play him. It's like, no, thank you. And then I watched it, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, the Creed 1 was definitely popping. I definitely agree with you on that.
And then Creed 3, like, you get Jonathan Majors, who just played Kang. Like, he's one of those actors. He's going to be in everything, and he's like really fucking good. He plays, the antagonist, villain, whatever you want to call it. Who's like, the former best friend of Apollo. I really like the fucking movie. I like the fights because Michael B. Jordan is directing this movie. This is his first time directing. You can tell the kind of movie he wants to make, opposed to the other movies that the other directors in the Creed series made. Like
Ryan Coogler.
Ryan Coogler made the first one. The second one, I forgot who made it. I think it was Ryan Coogler. I think it was somebody else.
I thought Ryan Coogler made the second one too.
I'm not. I don't think so. I think it was somebody else. But I think he produced it. But I don't think he actually directed it. But because I think that's when Black Panther came out, and he had to choose one movie. But yeah, this one, Michael B. Jordan directed it, and like you can tell the kind of movie he wants to make, because like he talked about how he's a big anime guy, and like in a lot of the fights, you can tell there's a lot of like influence from anime. Like he even said, like, the big final fight was going to be heavily influenced by when Goku fought Frieza in
that's lit.
Planet Namek, and like, not to spoil anything, but it's just like it looked fucking cool. And you can tell when the anime starts to creep in, you're like, oh, there's the anime, and it looks fucking cool. And also the acting, I like the acting. The two leads had good chemistry with each other. My only issue is pacing, because I thought the movie could have been longer, because I think it was like an hour 50. I thought it could have been maybe like 10, 15 minutes longer, because like,
oh wow, that's something you don't hear too often nowadays too, bro. Oh, I wish the movie was a little longer. You usually hear the opposite too, you know that.
Right. Well, like, I think you can always tell a story in any length. You can tell a story in 10 minutes. You can tell a story in an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. Just as long as the movie is good and like it's well paced, and like it's just because like No Way Home was 2.5 hours, and that's a movie I can watch and it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. It's so invested in the story. Wakanda Forever I liked, but I thought it could have been shorter. I thought it could have been maybe like 2 hours, even maybe like an hour 50.
Yeah.
With this movie, like it was still good. I was enjoying myself, even though. One thing I'll say is that the plot is a little predictable, but sometimes predictable can work as long as you have, the right story and the right actors that are able to carry it. And in this case, they have the right actors that are able to carry it. But I thought it could have been maybe 10, 15 minutes longer, and I'll say why, and I won't really spoil anything. Like, in any Rocky movie, whether it's Rocky or Creed, they always have that one act where they're faced with adversity and they have to like will themselves up for the big fight, and something big happens, a big speech happens, or whatever happens. With this movie, he tries to will himself up for the big fight, and nothing really dramatic happens. Like it's more just like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Like I understand we can't get Sly in this movie, but it's like, okay, all right, I'm fine. I still like the movie. I just not good enough. But
yeah. Damn, I got that's the next movie I'm probably gonna check out. Like, because I know it just came out. What like in theaters everywhere this past Friday, right?
Yesterday. Literally yesterday, actually.
Yeah, well,
yeah. So Thursday.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny because I would say this exact time around last year, I went to go see the Batman. I was fucking, oh my god, I was fucking hyped for that shit. We went mad late at night. I was like, yo, you do realize we're gonna get out at like 1 a.m. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care. I've been fiending for this shit. What? Fiending. So I'm definitely gonna check this movie out soon. But all right. I didn't watch last night's Friday night. I don't know what was going on my Sling TV. I guess it didn't have Fox, so I couldn't watch it. I was kind of upset. But yeah, I saw a couple of promos. How was SmackDown yesterday overall?
Well, for one, you should probably switch to YouTube TV because Sling sucks. That's just my opinion. Okay. Second, SmackDown kind of falls into that trap of like, the bloodline stuff is always the most interesting thing on the show, and everything else can either be okay or sometimes good or great, and then, or for the most part, it can just be, like it's just there. Cody and Roman opened the show. Like they had their first interaction, and
yeah,
I thought that was a good promo. I mean, I thought Roman kind of owned the promo, but I also think that was maybe the point, because the whole thing is like, they're trying to fuck with Cody. They want to get inside his head and fuck with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about the whole, like, let's just mention Dusty every 5 minutes, like in the promo, where, like, Roman is not saying anything, like, that's really blatant, but very kind of, like, backhanded and, condescending, where, like, he tells Cody, listen, I was groomed to be in this business by my dad and your dad. I love your dad. Like, I got nothing but nice things to say about him, and, like, but, like, anytime we talk, we didn't talk about you. Like, your dad never mentioned you. Matter of fact, and like, the whole thing with Paul Heyman saying like, I'm the son that he always wanted. So like, Cody kind of, he briefly mentioned AEW, where he's like, I had to go away and me and my little indie friends made our own, indie super show or whatever. It's just like, okay, that's AEW or All In or whatever. But
right.
Cody saying, I had to climb mountains, but that's kind of my whole thing. People saying I can't beat you. It's like, that's just another mountain to climb. And what I thought was kind of funny, my sister-in-law was watching with me, and she was watching the promo, and okay, have you ever seen the Fast and the Furious movies?
Yeah.
You remember the first one where, like, there's a scene where Brian and Dom race, and Brian goes, dude, I almost had you.
Yeah.
And Dom goes, you almost had me? Ooh!
You never had me. You never had your car.
Like, my sister-in-law was like, so Roman is basically Dom Toretto right now, because everything he's saying, the whole crowd's going, ooh. Like, there's a part where, like, Roman, lays down both belts, and he's like, let me ask you something. You ever had a shot at one of these? No. Ever been in the main event of WrestleMania? And I like Roman's facials, because, like, he does these facials where it's just like he does that thing with his mouth where he's like, yeah. You ever had one of these?
Yeah, I don't think so.
But Roman kind of owned him, and I think that was kind of the point. And
then you see Roman, like, as he's smiling towards Cody, he turns around and, like, he gets all serious and shit like that. None of that shit phased him, basically, like, shit.
But I thought it was a good promo. I thought it was a good way to open the show, and then Roman telling, Jimmy, make sure you get your brother here, because if it's not, it's going to be all on you. Like,
right.
I need Jay here. And then Jay apparently told, Jimmy on the phone, tell him to leave me the hell alone. So, again, I'm investing in the storyline because there's
Yeah,
a lot.
now Jimmy's about to be on his way out.
Of the bloodline.
Yeah, because he said if you don't get him to come back, it's gonna be on you. And Jay just said, tell him to leave me the hell alone. It's over.
Like, there's so much you can do with Jay because Jay's, you can make him your next, white meat babyface, and
Yep.
Sammy's still over. There's a lot you can do with him. People still love Sammy. I mean, all roads, pun intended, look like they're leading to Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, or maybe it's subject to change. You never know. Like, things could always change because, like, we all thought the Sammy thing was gonna last for like a month, but they kept prolonging it because Triple H, at the end of the day, he's a smart guy. He understands how wrestling works. He understands how reactions work, and he just saw that. He's like, I'm gonna let this, keep going until we have to kind of end it, just not now. If it were Vince, it'd be like, all right, end it, right now. Whereas Triple H is like, Triple H is a wrestling guy. He understands how wrestling works. So
right, he's gonna milk it until it's like, okay, now we have to end it.
But all that's good. And then the main event was Solo versus Sammy, which was a good match. Solo won, with interference from Jimmy. And for a second I thought Jay was going to come up, but then I'm like, wait, that would kind of like negate everything that Roman said. Whereas like Jay comes out, but he still ends up, backing up Sammy. I don't know, but like, I guess it makes sense to save Jay for next week if he does come out, which I'm pretty sure he will.
Right.
The rest of the show I thought was just not terrible, but I thought it was just okay. What is it? Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan I thought was good. There was a bit after the match where it showed a little girl crying, because she saw her favorite wrestler lose, and like Liv Morgan actually invited the girl backstage and like hugged her, and they hung out and talked. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh,
there's something that's on like the YouTube page. It wasn't like actually on the live show. I thought that was pretty cool. So good match, and then I was gonna say Andrade, not Andrade. Escobar called out Dominic. He's like, if you're half the man you say you are, you're gonna wrestle me up there, without your Chica. And then, of course, Dom brings Rhea out, and Rhea helps Dom win. And afterwards, Ray comes out to confront Dom. Of course, he's not gonna do the whole, I'm not gonna hit my son thing, which at this point is kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, he just needs to smack the shit out of him.
Because it's like, okay, I'm not Mexican. I know people who are Mexican. I have Mexican friends, and I'm about to be married to a Mexican woman. If you even raise your voice at one of your parents, you're gonna get the shit slapped out of you. Can you attest to that?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like when Dom kicked his father in the balls, he would have gotten killed. Like after that first day, like. So it's just like for Ray to be the whole, I don't want to hurt my son. And it's like, dude, just come on, smack the shit out of your son already. Like, please. Like, I get it. You want to prolong it until the eventual announcement of like, Dom, I'm at WrestleMania. I'm gonna do something I should have done a long time ago. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Right.
Like, like that makes sense. So it's leading to Mania. Pretty sure Dom's gonna get the win, and they're gonna make up, and